Hi, everybody. Mrs. Sturgeon here, and welcome back to class this January, this warm January. I did see a few minutes ago that we might be getting some cold weather in the next 10 to 12 days. But right now, we're having a very warm January. So, welcome back to class. I hope you're excited for planning curriculum. It's one of my favorites. I think it's a really important class that's going to help you understand all the tools and plans we need to make to ensure that learning is going on. So I'm not going to bore you with a super long video right here. I'm just going to say welcome. And then, as you probably know by now, since you've had other classes with me, there are plenty of other videos for you to watch as you go through and orient yourself with the class. A couple things that I do want to make sure are very clear for this class. So you all have your field experience site. For most of you, it's where you work. For some of you, you just have a site that you go and observe and volunteer at. For this class, you are required to visit a secondary site for at least a total of 4 hours throughout the whole 16 weeks. So you can do that in one big chunk of 4 hours. You could split it up into 4 1-hour segments or even 8 30-minute segments if that's what you need to do. But please be planning accordingly for that. There will be specific things you need to do, so don't jump right into them, but be thinking about it. Be thinking about spring break if that needs to be an option for you to get that done. But um, think about facilities that open before or after yours, or that might be open on a Saturday, or and just start talking to your supervisor about what you might need to do to get that done. I understand that it might have to be your lunch break or some off hours, but we're earning a degree, and sometimes there are some conveniences with that, and I'm sorry for that. The purpose of this, and I hope you'll understand, is to see how it's done elsewhere. So, for example, you're not going to go to the same type of facility you work at. If you're working in Head Start, you will find a private in-home daycare or a private childcare facility to go observe for 4 hours. If you have um, an in-home facility, then you're going to find a Head Start or a public school pre-K or a private childcare facility. So it has to be a different type, because to be well-rounded, we need to see what else is out there and know how things are done other places. It just makes us more successful and more in tune with our industry. So that is a requirement, that 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 be done. So just be thinking about that. If it's something you cannot do, you're going to need to get a hold of me and probably drop the class. But this is just the way this class has always been done. It's always had a secondary site, and it's very typical of any teacher prep program to have to do some observations in different types of facilities. So I want you to know that immediately up front that that is the case. I also want to point out that I'm going to share my screen here for a second. Okay, so this is your class. Um, and when you go to modules, and again, I've got to reiterate, please start each week by going to modules, not by going to your assignments in the syllabus. And your syllabus does now have assignments listed, or in your calendar and your to-do list. Those are handy tools for reminding you when they're due. But please don't start there. Please start in the modules so that you have all the learning materials for each week. Okay, please, to make sure that you're getting everything that you need. I want you to notice a new page in here, how to submit written assignments. I've got a new way that I want assignments submitted, and I'm going to need you to read that page and watch that video. And then several other of these pages have videos, which can't, even if you think, oh, I got all that in my last class, sometimes they change from semester to semester. So just please make sure you're refreshing your memory. I do hold you responsible for anything that's, any information that's provided here, just like I would expect you to be, um, to know anything that I said in an in-person class. You were sitting there, I would expect you to have heard it. You're here in front of the computer. This is how I share things with you, so I expect you to have watched/read it. So spend these first few days in this module and learning things. And again, I am just excited for this class. I think it's a great one, and I'm excited to see all of you here. And if you're in this class, it means that you're working towards your associate's degree. possibly near the end of it, depending on when you're taking this class. And you're doing a great job. All right. Thanks, everybody. And as always, reach out if you have any questions.